I know this is going to be hard for parents to hear, but you're not going to be able to autopilot the children of Gen Z and any other subsequent generation. You have to pick up their phone and you have to look at what they're looking at and just sit there and consume videos from their algorithm. And one of the scary things that I've seen when I look at their what they're seeing, whether it's in my family or other family members, you will see how disturbing the content is that these kids are being fed. And when you're looking at, say, a young male's phone and you're looking at their feed, you will see that they are being force fed white supremacy, covert white supremacy, toxic masculinity, this worship of toxic capitalism, unchecked. They're getting, and they may have literally started innocently just trying to get some nutritional advice. How do I get more muscular? How do I beef up? I'm not using the right words, but I'm speaking to my generation. Okay. And you think they're watching some nutritional videos, things you're curious about at their age. And what you're not understanding is that they are then getting a very white, far right extremist series of videos because the algorithm on whatever app they're looking at has been trained based on stereotypes. Okay, if you like this, then you will likely like X, Y, and Z. And whether or not and the apps don't really care whether or not you've put your face, you've made a video and it can see that you're a black person or a person of color. It doesn't really care. Automatically is going to feed you far right extremist content, red pill content. And so you start off getting that nutrition content, start off getting those, how to make some gains videos. And the next thing you know, you are pilled, neo-Nazi, self-hating bigot of your own people. And so parents have to really, really pay attention to whatever your child is, your niece, your nephew, whoever it is, pay attention to it. And it's hard for us because you've got to work a job, you got to have your side and your 2 or 3 side hustles, and you're trying to be a present, awake, and aware parent who is sharing their life, sharing their experiences, all while having to compete with apps you don't even know are on a kid's phone. That's why let me just tell you, I fully recommend, I don't care how old your kid is, you may have to give your kids a phone that is cloned from yours. So you're all just looking at the same thing. One thing. 2, y'all need to go back to I hate to make this statement because some of you are not going to be very happy with it, but that kid doesn't get privacy when it comes to the internet. They just don't. And if they can't let you see what they're seeing and they can't be open and honest about it, they can't have a phone. Seriously. And so parents are going to have to get to the point. And two, and it's not just about algorithms and the things we have to learn as parents. Y'all need to lock up y'all's weapons. This specific set of parents, this will be the first time as a Black person where I really want to deep dive on the parents involved. Really want to deep dive. Typically what happens with Black people of African descent over here is that the parents are demonized, they are investigated, and they're demonized regardless because they just want to be able to come up with a quick explanation and a way of seeing a person that justifies, it's been in the past, police brutality and all manner of evil. But I'll put it like this. If you don't want to pay attention to your child, these algorithms, and you don't want to really parent your child because you're tired and you don't have time, these algorithms are going to parent your child. And they are going to turn them into self-hating bigots, and who are, because this is the reason why Zuckerberg and many of these platforms, because they've looked at the analytics. They know what's coming across these kids' feeds. They know that these kids are, their brains aren't even developed, and they know the selection and the choices that they're making. So they're making an investment in toxic masculinity. Zuckerberg wants to try to look like a little like somebody who's cool, which he can't. I mean, he will consistently look like he slithered out of a nerd's book bag. It's just not going to happen. Same thing for all of them. They're not going to overcome it, and they don't care. But I'll say this: you're not going to be able to not pay attention to what your child is consuming. And you're really going to have to make it a part of your parenting to pay close attention, because these algorithms very, very quickly, to somebody who doesn't have a developed brain, because my brain developed outside of having like apps and phones and whatever. And the only time we had access to the internet was I had to go to school to get it, right? Even though we had computer games and all that kind of stuff. But the internet was something that you had to go to school and get. And so even then, there was not this level of inundation of information that isn't given in a way that allows critical thinking. It's why I promote critical thinking on my channel. And you as a parent, because my parents were into critical thinking because it was the only way we were going to survive as Black people. You got to think. They used to say it for hours all the time. You got to think. Because if you don't think, that choice that you just decided to flippantly make because you thought you were going to be like your friends with low and no melanin, you will end up dead, because they will come. The police will arrest you because before they will arrest them. So you were required to think. But in this situation, you're going to have to think, and you're going to have to teach your kids critical thinking. So you might want to send them my way. I'll create more content on it, because until these algorithms start doing what an algorithm really should do, from my standpoint, is that, and really go over to Red Note. I really want you guys to see that. Like, when a government takes, when it takes and makes the effort, goes through the pains and makes the effort to ensure that its populace is being educated and cultured, and you can see it in the people. They don't suffer from that American rot. You're not going to see that. It's not that everyone is doing well and everyone is having the same experience. No, but you need to go over to Red Note, and you need to download XHS, Xiao Hong Shu, and you need to see it. Because these algorithms that push your children into rot and ruin, you don't find that there. And so you need to understand the difference. And I'm going to start doing I keep saying it, but I'm going to start doing a longer series on this, because Americans really don't understand how propagandized they are, because they thought that their news was supposed to be researched and balanced and fact telling, when the game that they've been playing with Americans is that they'll give you some real well researched stories and then a lot of propaganda, and you can't tell the difference. And that's the way they've been playing with you all. Black people, we've had to be awake and aware. Okay, there's a certain segment of the population who's now dying from whiteness. This is going long, so let me go short. Take a look at what your children are looking at. Go pick up your niece and nephew's phone. Go look at what they're being fed in their algorithm, and scroll, and give yourself 30 minutes to an hour to scroll. No logging in under some other secret name or whatever. No, just raw dog their algorithm. And then tell me what you see. Because I think you all will see that these companies are attacking your children with their algorithm, and they're feeding them far right extremist ideals and all the rot and intellectual rot that can be force fed into them. And they're raising your child to be a person that you didn't even think could be created from you or your bloodline.